And we find ourselves at the stadium that played host to Super Bowl 52, the wondrous U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the San Francisco 49ers and the Minnesota Vikings. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they will pay dividends as the game progresses.
Up at the 29 now, they'll head to the line, 2nd and a yard. To throw on 2nd down, McDaniel. Over the middle, complete is Gutierrez. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 41. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the 1st half.
Yeah, we know. You know better than I. He has the ability to take over a game. So what do you do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, it's nothing but room to run.
From the gun on 3rd down, McDaniel. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
And on their first drive, the offense staying out there. They're going to go for it on 4th. From the gun, McDaniel. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Reese. And now this is going to depend on the spot. And they say he's just short. Well, trying to be bold on the opening drive of the game, but that effort, it proves futile.
How many times have we talked with coaches where they've talked about taking the emotion out of their decision-making? I think that opening drive, if he didn't have it in his head to go for it before, I think that keyed into it. They were doing so well, and he decided to really establish something there. They didn't get it. Now they've got to make sure that they don't lose their focus.
Good starting field position for the Vikings as they have it 1st and 10.
Gone!
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. The setup to throw. Green with a catch left side. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
So from inside Niner territory now, this is 1st and 10 as they've got it to the 28-yard line. They'll run it now out of the gun. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. Then he got off the end there very quickly. And eventually taken down here. Great coverage downfield.
Oh, my goodness. Was that a defensive back that got to him with the pressure?
Look at the former defensive back. You're all smiles up here.
I hope everybody can hear my smile on that play.
He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line. Call it a gain of 3, and that's going to make it 4th down. Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked.
So the next time we leave one of those coaches' meetings and we're walking out in the hall and you're like, how come we spend so much time talking about special? This is why, right? And then look, I'm right there with you. We hear it every time we meet with coaches, but it is a big part of it. And look at how early in the game this occurs. They block a kick, and not only does it set a tone, it sends a message for the rest of the game.
Yeah, so much for our first points of the game. And they'll go with the ground attack here. Now that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. Looking to throw on 2nd down. McDaniel, he's going to go for a big play downfield. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
Wide open receiver complete. And he is down deep into Minnesota territory. Now after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a 1st down in the red zone. Now a handoff working right. And he'll fight his way down right around the 12. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Well, they didn't get a whole lot out of that one, but I think you got to continue to try and run and try and keep the defense honest.
You mean or else they'll just sit back, dare you to throw it on every down?
Yeah, you get your quarterback hit a lot that way, too.
And they'll go on the ground. And a pickup of about 4 down inside the 10 to the 8-yard line.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
And on the ground they go with the running back. No gain there on the play, and that's going to leave them with a 4th down.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level, because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. That drive took him inside the 10. Good job defensively to hold him to 3.
Yeah, I like how you did that. Give a little tip of the cap to the stop troops there, because they didn't give up a touchdown in that situation, right? Made them kick the field goal. And, yeah, points went against them, but that feels a whole lot better running off the field.
And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. Now the Vikings offense gets set to take over here. And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And he'll get across the 20, but only to about the 22-yard line. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Oh, nearly picked. And maybe lucky there. This guy doesn't drop many defensively. Third down.
Oh, man, that was close. The opportunity to change momentum, big play, right in his hands, unable to come down with it.
A sigh of relief, no doubt, on offense that fell harmlessly to the ground. They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on second down. He'll drop to throw. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. His first catch, good for 16 and a first.
A lot of tight ends just use their size and their strength, try to occupy some space and kind of body people away and catch the football. But not this guy. He's a refined route runner. Makes me wonder if he took some dance classes in his background with his footwork.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he takes this up right near the 45-yard line. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. You often say that sort of opens the playbook now, 2nd and short. What do you think, early shot here?
I like where you're going. Obviously, we've been together for a while because you know me. I want to take that shot early and loosen things up.
Watch it now, Barney! Barney!
They'll run it now out of the gun. And a minimal gain here as he's up to about the 47-yard line. They got 2 of the 3 they needed there. It leaves them with 3rd and just a yard. The good run on first down followed up by a not-so-good run on second down.
Now let's find out if they're going to stick with the run here on third down. A lot of people would love to see some play action here. I say go with your best running play over your best blocker.
They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going. And they'll run it here. And they'll get him down here at about the 42. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
That's a strong pickup right there on first down. And as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
Now, Barney! Barney! No, check! Patriot! Patriot!
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. The gain of 4 that time as the drive continues.
2nd and 1 is often an invitation to take the big shot downfield. But I bet the offensive lineman said, are you kidding? We just get on our backs and let's go get the first down. They love being physical.
All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10.
Gun!
They'll set up a throw. And he just gets rid of it. Throws it away. A wise move there. Looked like nobody open. Now 2nd down.
I hope I don't sound too rah-rah on that one, but that's the exact right throw. Either your receiver gets it or no one gets it. Give him a lot of credit for being really precise with it.
Got rid of it. No one got it. Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. 4 yards on the pickup, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
Gun! 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 Detroit! Detroit! Hot! Hot!
They'll look to throw here. Eluding the pressure right. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Well, we always talk about how you've got to be quick when you go through your progressions, and here's another prime example. Trying to look downfield, he was standing in the pocket, but just couldn't find anyone open, could he?
No, not enough time. They hit him and forced that incompletion. And the 12-year veteran knocks it right through, and that will tie us at 3-3. So a good kick that time, and that might help to get the negative thoughts out of the mind from that earlier block.
Especially since this was not a chippy, so he had to get that one out kind of low. But his line does a nice job of protecting, and he's able to convert for 3.
And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. The 49er offense now making their way out onto the field. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point?
The kicker.
Exactly. He put it through the post. That's going to help him at contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him at contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bash.
I don't know about that. Super toe.
Throwing on 1st down. McDaniel. And a big loss here as he's taken down.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
After the sack, they're staring at a challenge basically from the other side of town. It's 2nd and a country mile.
Watch it now, Barney! Barney!
Operating from the gun, McDaniel. Escaping the pressure right. Now he's going to send this one deep. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 45. They set themselves behind the chains, tried to get it all back in one play, and it backfired.
Didn't it feel like a pitcher working his way into a 3-0 count, right? You're behind. What do your coaches always tell you? Get it back one pitch at a time. In this case, they tried to get it back right away, and it didn't work out.
Gun! 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 Gun!
Now they try the right side here. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
Well, that didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
Under 4 to go now as the clock runs, and they come up on 2nd down.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Hot! Hot!
They'll look to throw. On the crossing route, complete. That's Hall. He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Gun! 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 Hot!
And they'll go with a ground attack here. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. So nothing there that time, and maybe you need to look to the O-line. They weren't able to create any space.
No, they weren't, and you know as well as I do, as many offensive line coaches we've ever met, I think that'll be addressed loudly when those guys get to the sideline.
And they're usually loud and big.
All right, now, lucky 56.
The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. Looking for Green, and it's intercepted. Read it well, and it's picked. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Well, they thought they were going to break the tie. The defense had other plans. They were already in field goal range, but boom, an interception.
I don't know if this was a case of being a little bit too greedy with the opportunity to put points on the board. But give credit to the guys on the defensive side. Hung in there, battled, and made a key play.
Yeah, give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. They'll come up 2nd and 6 now from the 24.
Watch him now, Barney.
And they'll go on the ground. And this time not as successful as he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. And now the Vikings are going to stop it here on defense with a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. The Niners on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. Looking to throw. McDaniel. Man open, Rice. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. He got 29 yards that time. To play in a tightly contested first half. More from Minneapolis after this. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10.
All right, now look at 56. Lucky 56. Over. Gone.
Now whistles here, and I think one of the big boys for the 49ers might have jumped. The false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15.
Gone. Detroit. Gone.
Back to throw. McDaniel. He's going to let this one go deep. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out, incomplete.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down.
Detroit.
Looking to throw. McDaniel looking deep downfield. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10.
Watch it now, Barney. Over.
Now a handoff looking right. And they'll get him down right about the 20. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. Earlier this half, you were wondering how the defense was going to handle him defensively. Were they going to bottle him up at different levels, so to speak, is what you said. What have you seen so far?
Well, I think they've been absolutely terrific because it feels like on every play, if we were watching this in the film room, when he clicked off the film or stopped it, you would see 11 shirts of that same color right there in the frame trying to tackle it. That's what you're looking for.
And he hauls it in the end zone. Touchdown, San Francisco. In for the score. And the Niners are able to cash in for 6. Gonzalez good on the extra point, and the lead is now 10-3. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And a good return up past the 30, but was it aided by an illegal block or a hold? Let's see. So that will push him back.
And now we know why I have a little extra space to run, don't we? An illegal block in the back, that penalty will move them back.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Detroit! Detroit!
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. And he's got his man on the out route. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first. First down now, but that clock rolling.
And there's another completion to the tight end. And let's face it, it is hard to overthrow a 6'6" target.
It is indeed. Quarterbacks like their speed guys. They like that huge 6'6" target that they've got in him.
They really do, and it reminds me of what one great tight end told me once. He told his quarterback, just make sure you throw it up there. You know, kind of like put up on the top shelf where the kids can't get it.
They'll run it now out of the gun. No gain on the play that time, and they'll look to convert on what will be a 3rd and 4. They'll get to the line here, but remember, it's also 3rd down. Out of the gun now on 3rd down.
What an advantage having an elite guy in the middle of the defensive line, because not only does he take up the space and let the linebackers run free, but he can also make plays himself, as we just saw there.
It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs. This quarterback now, after the pick on the last drive, 3 for 3 to start this drive. It's 1st and 10.
Gun! 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 Gun!
They're going to look to throw. Green's got it over the middle. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. A good pickup there, 26 yards. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. And they'll burn the timeout with 5 seconds left. A chance to try to add 3 points before heading to the locker room. So on 2nd down, the field goal unit is on here as they try to get 3 before half. And remember, he had one blocked earlier. And his kick is indeed good. And that'll bring him back within 4. So they're still down, but they are able to salvage 3 here heading into the lockers.
This is what you work on from the beginning of training camp. Heading into the half, put some points on the board. No matter what the score says at that point, you've accomplished what you set out to do.
An incredibly short kick fielded way up there. So we have reached halftime here with the visiting 49ers on top. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. Out come the Vikings. They'll have it first on offense as we begin the 3rd. They're close game, but they're going to need to do a little bit better probably here in half 2, no?
I would agree with that totally. I would guess it in the locker room. They talked about cleaning up some of the errors, but overall I think they wanted to be positive with them. Guys, we're right there, just not playing as well as we need to. Let's pick it up, and we still have a chance to win this game.
Yeah, they do. We'll see if they can pick it up. And he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play there. 2nd down. Back to throw. Throwing the out route, incomplete. It's Green. And he almost gets this to the 30, taken down about a yard shy. 63 yards receiving for him now, and that last catch good enough for a 1st down.
Leopard! Leopard! Detroit! Detroit!
On the ground they go with the running back. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Looking to throw. And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's third down. A pretty good coverage there, and both of these defenses, they've had good coverage throughout this one.
No doubt about it, and in today's NFL, where we're used to a bit more scoring, this feels almost like a well-pitched game in baseball on both sides where the tension continues to build. Who's going to make the big play?
Back to throw here. Being chased out left. Looking for Green, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 35. And this one will be brought back to the 22.
I think that interception happened for two reasons. Quarterback gets outside the pocket and panics a little bit, and receiver doesn't make sure he's absolutely in an open spot. So there's a guy lurking, took the ball from him.
Yeah, so don't wave your arms, right, as a receiver if you're not wide open.
Got to know that you're open. Otherwise, just don't do it.
Now they try the right side here. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. Now we've got whistles and a timeout here. Yeah, looks like we've got a 49er that's down on the field. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. Well, the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. To throw on 2nd down. McDaniel. Pressure applied, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back at the 33-yard line.
We are seeing two really confident defenses imposing their will on these offenses in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Going toe for toe. Just curious if one of these offenses can wake up a little bit.
Is there any way they can find something that can pop, something big to knock them back on their heels?
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on 3rd down. So instead of giving them another 3rd down, they'll decline it, brings up 4.
Now that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
So out comes a field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. He was true on his first. This a tough one from 49 yards away. And the kick by Gonzalez is good. And that'll open the lead up to a touchdown now at 13-6. Well, looking at it from a defensive perspective, that keeps the deficit very, very manageable. You know, all things considered, not a bad job on the defensive side.
I would say that you've pointed out something pretty good right there, and that is you have both sides happy with that exchange. You know, happy in quotes, of course. One team, hey, we've kept it within range. The other side saying, hey, we put points on the board and did stretch out the lead. Let's see how this one turns out.
Yeah, still bottom line, though, 3 points for the opening drive of the 3rd quarter. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. Going to throw right side here. Complete. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. An excellent way to start the drive there. 18 yards. Defensively, they just lost him. He was waving his arm saying, I'm wide open. They found it.
Yeah, and it's so interesting about when a receiver starts to wave his arms because some guys, right off the line of scrimmage, they declare themselves open. You know, those guys throw the one arm up, hit me right now. In this case, he was so wide open that he was frantically trying to get his attention to make sure he got the football. And then I'm sure his only thought when the ball was in the air, don't drop it. Had too much time to think.
This quarterback now 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10.
Watch him now, Barney! Barney! Detroit! Detroit! Gun! 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 Hot!
Now back to throw. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off down near the 5. And he's going to get this one to the 23-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Watch him now, Barney. Barney.
And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. Nice way to start the drive, a gain of 12 and a 1st down.
Partner, if you want more carries, I think we saw how you get him. Showed that he's got the fresh legs, and he picked up the 1st down on that run. Don't just ask for him. Show him that you're supposed to get the football.
Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down.
That's his 2nd sack of the game, and the best defensive ends, they do their homework as much as offensive guys do. They know how to beat the offensive lineman across from them, what moves they need to do to set them up. This guy's been pretty good at it all game long.
That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now 2nd down and 22 yards to go.
Detroit! Detroit! Watch him now, Barney. Barney. Gun! 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 Gun!
From the gun, McDaniel. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. And Charles, got to like what this defense has been able to do these last couple of plays.
Yeah, they get the sack on 1st down, then they force the incomplete pass. Now they're just a play away from getting the football right back, but it's a big play. They've got to hold up.
Set! Blue 90! Blue 90! All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Throwing on 3rd and long. McDaniel. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? Zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. And with 3 interceptions thrown already, we'll see. Do they rely more on the ground game here?
They may have to change things offensively to try and settle things down, not just for the guy throwing the ball, but for the rest of the offensive unit, because his confidence has to be shaken a little bit. And you just wonder, is the backup?
And that's caught inside the 35. Touchdown, Vikings. A big play there. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Vikings are an extra point away from tying this thing up. Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked. So we're back to a 1-point game now as the kickoff comes. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. The 49ers getting set to trot out there. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play. Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
This quarterback now 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10. Back to throw. McDaniel. Throw left side complete. That's Reese. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Now, after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. This quarterback now 9 of 16 through the air as he's got it 1st and 10. Now a first carry for their fullback. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and it'll be 2nd and very short.
No. Check. Patriot.
The give to the fullback on the dive. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Officially, it's no gain on the play, and they'll remain a few inches shy of a first with 3rd down looming. The offense on 3rd down tonight, they've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. They're looking at 3rd in the nose of the football. Looking to throw. McDaniel toward the sideline, and he will have the 1st down as he was able to keep the feet in bounds. What a methodical drive this is turning out to be. That time 9 yards, and the sticks move again. And we return, welcoming you back to Minneapolis. And we've got a dandy here. A 1-point game as we begin the 4th. We saw a number of good games earlier today. This one might top all of those. It's been a dandy as we come up on 1st and 10. Operating from the gun. McDaniel. All incomplete. A turnover would have really helped there. Almost intercepted. Instead, it's just 2nd down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that 1st down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. To throw again. McDaniel steps away to his left. And he just chucked that one out of bounds, out of everyone's reach. Maybe a wise call not to take a sack in this part of the field. It brings up 3rd down. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
Gun!
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. Flush to his right. And that will be incomplete as well. I think you'd have to say defensively, these guys are doing their job pretty well, right?
Yeah, we talked about them holding them under 20 points, right, on defense. And they've done that. They've held them. The problem is their own offense hasn't answered their challenge, which was to score more.
Yeah, exactly. I remember you saying magic number was right around 20, and the offense has been the issue. You're right. So they get the 3, but you wonder now, is that going to be enough?
Excellent question, because when I look at the smiles on that side of the field, they're a little tight, aren't they? If they had scored a touchdown there, those would be big half-moon grins right now because they'd feel a whole lot better about their position.
And a touchdown in the other direction, all of a sudden they're down. And out now come the Vikings. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
Detroit!
They'll come out throwing here on 1st down. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard. And he'll be tackled at about the 35. Call it a gain of 4, and it'll leave them with a 3rd down and 6 to go.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. And no, it's incomplete. Mike Zimmer got to be unhappy with how that turned out. And the Niners take over in terrific field position. The 49ers offense now, they get set to head back on the field. Well, with the score where it's at, a field goal essentially doesn't do them much good here. A touchdown, though, and they're really in business.
Yeah, exactly right, because taking over the ball in this type of field position, all right, they feel good about what the defense just did. If you're calling plays, you're still thinking aggressively. You're not thinking, all right, let's just run the ball and try and get 3. You want to put it downfield, call your big shots, and try and get that big, big score.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 35. Back to the air on 2nd down. McDaniel. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. They give him 17 yards that time as that'll move the chains. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down. Now, I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely, you want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And there is nowhere for him to cut back as he's taken down in the backfield. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down. And before they can run this 3rd down play, we're going to get a timeout. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the 4th quarter. One of the bigger plays in the game thus far. The crowd getting into it as we come up on a big 3rd down. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he goes backwards here, losing yardage back to the 16. He lost 2, and it brings up 4th.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. From the right hash, this from 33. And Gonzalez puts this one through. And that'll make this a 7-point game. From a defensive perspective, though, I think maybe they're saying, hey, we did what we needed to do, kept this a one-score game.
Yeah, without a doubt, because they were able to bleed some time off the clock, right? Put themselves in a good position, but it's not out of reach yet, okay? Being able to hold them to a field goal means that they do have a chance to come back and win this game.
And now out comes Minnesota. And on that last drive, went for it on fourth, turned it over. But good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on fourth down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe in my offense. Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford to go for it here, because if we don't get it, I don't think we'll give up more than 3. And that's exactly what happened there.
You think that factored in?
I do. I think that he had that in his mind going into the game, that I'm going to be aggressive on offense because I know I've got a defense that can hold up their end.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch. Good for 8 yards. They'll run it now out of the gun. 2 yards on the pickup there, but it's enough to give them a new set of downs.
Not too many more ideal situations in 2nd and 2 in order to try and pick up a first down. They ran it and picked it up.
Lucky 56.
They'll look to throw here on first down. He's going to fire one deep left sideline. So they took a shot on first down but couldn't connect.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, fourth quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield.
Watch it now, Barney, Barney. All right, here we go. Green, 39. Green, 39. No. Check. Patriot. Patriot. Gun. Gun. Gun, gun. Gun, gun. Gun, gun. Hot.
They'll drop to throw. Flushed out right. And some space here. Wide open receiver complete. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. A very nice pickup of 33 yards. So now then, the big play has him all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. They go play action here on first down. Rolling to his right. And he finds a man with a crossing route. Back-to-back nice plays. 12 yards that time and a first down. Working the sideline there. Good route, good catch. First down, and he gets out of bounds.
Yeah, you have to like the play calling because you have to run some guys down the middle of the field to draw some of the defenders away. They can't just let them guard the sideline exclusively. That's how it's going to work. Sidelines and incompletions to use the clock.
The drive continues as they search for a tying touchdown. Here's 1st and 10.
Check. Patriot. Patriot.
Now a play fake here on first down. They'll roll him out right. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Gun, gun. Gun, gun. Hot.
He'll look to throw. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Able to get there and pick it. And now look at him go. He's at the 50. the 30, 20, 10, and he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down, so let's see what this is about. Time for a break. We'll come back for the electrifying conclusion after this. So the special teams penalty cost some yardage there as they come out on 1st and 10.
Watching that, Barney!
And they'll run it here. And he'll lose yardage and be down at the 7-yard line. And now the Vikings are going to stop it here on defense with a timeout, as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. That one looks like he'll throw here toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. 17 yards on the pickup there. The drive will continue. It's a first down. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Now a handoff looking right, and he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up 2nd down. He already has 2 sacks to his credit, now another tackle for loss.
And you know how you can always identify who was supposed to block him? They're the ones helping up the person who just got knocked to the ground with the ball, right? Whether it's a running play or a pass play, they've got to figure out a way to slow him down. Maybe you chip him with a second guy. Maybe you just out-and-out double him. Maybe you make sure you take the ball and throw it as far away from him as possible, because right now he is wrecking things for them.
2nd and long, but you got to figure this almost certainly another run. And the play clock is going to run out here. They're in no hurry to get a play off. He didn't even try to signal for a timeout, so they must have not been aware of the numbers.
I think he lost track of the time left in the play clock and probably was trying to read the defense and trying to figure out which play to run, and just lost track, and it cost him.
Now they try the right side here. And not a whole lot to speak of there as they'll bring him down shy of the 20. Another timeout called by the Vikings now, as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds left to go in the game. The Niners on 3rd down. They've converted a third of their opportunities, 3 for 9. This is 3rd and 16. Now they'll run it on the toss. So a good spin move, but not a whole lot to show after as he's taken down. And a timeout here. Timeout taken, whistles blown. Timeout taken by the receiving team, as the clock's going to stop with 47 seconds to go in the 4th. Here comes the 49ers punter now, as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. This is brought in at the 21. Good blocking there, nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Now the Vikings offense works their way back onto the field. One possession game, time very much a factor. How does the offense handle this situation?
Well, in a lot of cases, they should be somewhat relaxed. And I know that's counterintuitive because this is a pressure situation. But this is Friday practice every week of the season. You go over this situation, having to go down.
And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. The Vikings in the hurry up. They're hustling up to the line. He's back to throw. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And oh, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off near the 34. And this one will be returned to right around the 38-yard line. Just a little bit of a rough stretch. 6 interceptions now in these last 2 weeks combined.
I know the easy thing is to go back to mechanics, footwork, things of that nature. I'm also wondering, is he getting fooled by what he's seeing on defense? Has the scouting report changed? Are they showing him things different than what he expected? For the 2nd week in a row, he's throwing it to the guys in the wrong color shirts.
Yeah, he better figure, whatever the reason is, he better figure it out. And now with 4 seconds left, we get a timeout call.
56. Lucky 56. Over.
Looking to throw on second down. McDaniel, he's going to sling, and that's caught inside the 30. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. A road win in the National Football League. Charles, you never take that for granted no matter who you're playing, no matter where you're playing.
You take it and you run with it. And you know you primed the pump all week in your own home facility. No one thinks we can do this. Only people who believe are right here in this room. And then you go on the road, band together, and get it done.
So for the Niners, their winning ways continue as they get it up to 7-0. And they'll have another road date next week with the Los Angeles Rams. Meanwhile, for Minnesota,